What's up, world? You are in tune to another episode of the KnoItAllz podcast, and as always, you got to use your suspects with us today. Big G, how you living, man?
What's cracking, know-it-alls? Time to get in some sports talk. Let's go.
Yeah, man. And Tate, what's good, man? How you doing?
What's good, Ma? What's good, Big G? You know, just another week, man. Just ready to get it in and let's do it again.
Yeah, man. And definitely, as always, before we get into this, we're gonna get into this. Man, you guys, I am so excited to get into this NBA draft. Listen, first and foremost, we can't even talk about the draft. Let's talk about this blockbuster deal that just happened, man. We really need to get in. We'll have another special guest on the show that we'll talk about it a little bit more with him as we get into it. But man, Westbrook is a Laker. How do you feel about this, Tate? I mean, as a LeBron fan, do you really think this is going to go over well? Do you think this is going to be something that is going to actually be beneficial?
I do think it'll be beneficial. I think the Lakers last year lacked another playmaker, off the bounce, off the dribble. A lot of that responsibility was delegated to LeBron, and he was like the only one. Dennis Schroeder didn't really fit fit the dynamics what they were trying to do. I think with Russ being added to AD and LeBron, I think it'll be a good fit because they'll just have to use their basketball IQs. I mean, it seems like now you got two ball dominant people, but LeBron really needs to come off the ball a little bit. So that'll be a benefit to him. He can kind of rest, through different points of the game and stuff like that. And like I said, I really think they make it work. Problem is the salary cap. They like got 120 million just in those three guys. So they only got like 15, 17 million left to finish out the team. But it sounds like a lot of veterans want to try and go there and play with them guys. Like they want Carmelo, maybe DeMar DeRozan takes a pay cut and comes there. So we'll see what happens. But they kind of is ready to go now, I think.
And what about you, man? Talk to me, G. What do you think about this move? You think it's going to be beneficial?
I think I agree a lot with what Tate said, man, with LeBron coming off the ball. I mean, the issue with the Lakers has always been shooting and spacing. And I'm not saying Westbrook is going to add any shooting because God knows he can't hit the broad side of the barn sometimes. However, the ability to dribble, penetrate, draw to, and kick is Russell Westbrook's biggest asset. I think still, even at his age, he has the ability to break down any defensive team in the league, where he can draw to and kick. So if they are able to rotate the ball and surround it with some shooters, because I've heard Rudy Gay is going to take the minimum and try to come. I've heard JJ Redick is going to take the minimum and try to come. I even heard that the Cavs is talking about buying Kevin Love out of his contract and allowing him to go and search out free agency. So when you get guys like that around those three guys, but I still say with the Lakers, even with Russie, they got to get Anthony Davis healthy, man. Anthony Davis is one of the most fragile big men in the league, and I don't get it. You're a multi-million-dollar player. You're on your second and third contract, and you're not paying a guy $1 million plus to add 10 to 15 pounds of weight on you and get you stronger and faster. I just don't understand. Anthony Davis has an opportunity to be one of the Laker greats, all-time Laker greats. But until he gets fully serious and goes all the way in and takes care of his body, like you see a guy like LeBron, like you see a guy like Russie do, the Lakers are still on the outside looking in from the Western Conference, trying to go for the championship.
man, so my take on this, man, is Russie is, I mean, he calls himself Russie. I mean, he an alpha male. Are you going to surrender that role and let LeBron be LeBron? I mean, because it's definitely going to have to be Bron's team, and you're going to have to bow down. And I don't know, Russie, I mean, he's coming back home, so which is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? He's a California kid, played his college ball at UCLA. So this is a comeback for him. This is a win. But man, if he can ever sacrifice being the guy, if he can just break people down like you said.
Hey, Ma, I think I'm listening to what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But I think in order for the Lakers to be their best selves next year, I think LeBron gotta let Russ and AD go at it. Let them lead from a statistical standpoint. He's definitely the alpha male and leader of the team in the locker room, but on the court next year, LeBron's numbers might go down to like maybe 22 a game and 7-7. You know what I mean? He got to just take a
and
look.
That's where it needs to be. I
really
think he should be 18-10-10 and just move out the way scoring wise and come in and put it to him when he needs to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And who I was talking about, he needs to surrender to, who LeBron needs to surrender to is AD. You know what I'm saying? Definitely needs to surrender to AD.
Does he need to surrender to AD, or do AD need to take over? AD got to come out and have a little bit of that dog in him, which he don't necessarily have.
Right.
I think that's the dynamic we're talking about.
Yeah. But you know what, though? The thing about Russie is Russie will take that dynamic over fast. Russie will not, just give it up. He's going to be an alpha dog.
Well, Russie's Russie. And we got Damian chiming in and said AD to the 5.
What up, Brody? What up, Brody?
LeBron to the 4. Russ handles the ball. 2 wing, 3 and D guys. When it's LeBron's turn to run things, Russ might have to come out. Yeah, I get that. I can hear that. It's around the same take I have, Damian. Just basically, he's gonna have to defer. If Russ can learn how to defer and just be the dude when he needs to be, like go to the hole, get AD easy baskets. You know what I'm saying? Russ has the ability to break you down, like Big G said, off the dribble. He drop it off.
He can't be heisting all them shots like he be doing.
That's it.
Hey,
he can't.
Let me ask the question. Let me ask y'all a question, man. Was the Buddy Hield deal better for LA, or was the Russie deal? Because I heard they had the Buddy Hield deal locked down. And I got mixed feelings about it, man.
I think I got mixed feelings too. I think Buddy Hield is more what they needed, and that's because they needed shooting and spacing and stuff like that. But they're way more dynamic with Russ. Yeah. Now, if you can find ancillary pieces to put around them three, you on to something. They could have had Buddy Hield and got some other people, another person.
Yeah.
But they're way more dynamic with Russell Westbrook.
I believe so too. And once again, if Russ gets hot, you know what I'm saying? Russ gets hot and AD starts playing the trash man, it could be something. Like I said, it's just gonna take somebody dying to themselves and putting their own agenda down and going for it, getting buckets and when they need to. And we'll see how that works out. But man, let's get into this draft, man. Definitely when we start talking about this draft, to me, there were 4 to 5 guys that I just felt like were, and I mean, if you watched our draft special, we're not gonna go back over that. We're just gonna run through this list. Definitely. Before we get to this, B Dirt said that he heard Rudy Gay to LA. We heard that. We've all heard that. But man, listen. We're not going to go through and go detail. We're going to highlight some guys. We're going to talk about the winners. We're going to talk about the losers. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Cade Cunningham, solid. He's one of the 5 in this draft that I believe that is going to be a talent. I'm not going to say generational talent, but I'm going to definitely say he's going to be an all-star at some point in his career. And I think that was a good pick for Detroit. What you guys think about that pick?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I think the Pistons, not only with him, but a couple of guys that they snatched in the second round, man, Detroit is definitely headed in the right direction. Whether or not they're going to be a playoff contention team, it's going to take a year or two, maybe even 3, just depending on how well he fits with some of the complementary pieces that they have currently around him. But is Cade Cunningham one of the top 5 or 10 players that's been picked in the last 5, 6, 7 drafts? Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't teach strength, size, and speed. 6'8", 220, downhill, mid-range jumper. The only thing I worry about him sometimes is like when that little fella from Baylor, that 6'1" fella, he locked him down, man. He was talking to him and everything. So I don't know if he's got that girth in him yet to just be able to be like, look, I'm an alpha dog. I'm an alpha NBA player, and I can take over anytime I want to. But does he have that capacity? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I really like the young man. I think like I said, he's one of the top 5 or 6 players that's been drafted in the last few drafts, man. Overall playability, defense, scoring, skill play. Yeah, very good.
And KnoItAllz listeners, feel free to chime in on what you think these picks was to yourself. Tate, how did you feel about this? I mean, we all agreed on the pre-show that definitely Cade Cunningham was going to be number 1 here. So how'd you like this pick, and where do you see Cade in the future?
Man, I'm gonna jump out here with a big G burner. I'm gonna say that Detroit is gonna be fighting for playoff contention next year. They're gonna at least be in that play-in group.
Wow.
You got Cade Cunningham coming, who's gonna connect everything. They got two all rookie players from last year, Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. Both them guys was on the USA select team to scrimmage and play against the USA team for the Olympics. Then you got, is it Jaron Grant? Which Grant is it?
Grant.
Jaron.
He's actually on the Olympic team.
Yeah, he's on the Olympic team. That's what I'm saying. So they got those 3. You bring Cade in. They got the guy they drafted last year. I forgot his name. Guard playing the backcourt with Cade. And they got Dwayne Casey, who was a coach who just 2 or 3 years ago was coach of the year. So we know they got a good coach.
Yeah.
So I really think with the talent, the young talent they have, that they'll be battling for that 10th seed.
Hey, with that Luka Garza kid from Iowa and that Isaiah Livers kid.
Isaiah Livers from Michigan.
Luka Garza went way too late, if you ask me. But we'll get into it. Like I said, we'll get into it. The next pick right here, man, Jalen Green. We won't talk about this too much, but I got a take, man. Can y'all tell me what was this, man? What was this? Who was styling this young man? I mean, for real. I'm looking at this, bro, and first and foremost, this came in my head. This is all I saw.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I looked at this suit, man. I said, this boy got on this suit, and then I also thought about this. I said, look at this. You know what I'm saying?
Goldie.
He done went to Goldie. What is going on, man? This is horrible. Hey, whoever styled this young man, you put him in some bell bottoms and a sequin suit. I mean, you took him back to the disco era, man. I don't know what's going on, man.
He's 19 years old, man. If y'all remember back the draft, you remember that tight Pee Wee Herman suit Karl Malone had on?
Yeah.
And then Jalen Rose had on a bright red candy apple cherry red suit. Like they just young people being young people, man.
Yeah.
All I heard was "After the Love Is Gone." That's all I heard playing in my head. After the love is gone, September. I'm like, what is he doing, man?
Earth, Fire.
This is all I saw, man. This is all I saw. This is all what was going on in my head.
He got more head on the forehead than my man do.
Hey, man. Then we got the Clippers who got Evan Mobley. I think that was a steal for him.
That's the Cavaliers. Come on, man. Ain't the Clippers?
Yeah, it's still they got him one with him. The Raptors is where everything shook up, right? We started to see the shakeup with Scotty Barnes, the pick of Scotty Barnes, which I really think was a good pick, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be minus Kyle Lowry at some point. So I think that was a great pick, man. It was definitely a great pick.
if you minus Kyle Lowry, don't understand the reason you would take the best point guard in the draft. You would take Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean you. So like I know, the NBA draft is all about potential. It's all about who has the highest upside out of Scotty Barnes and Jalen Suggs. Scotty Barnes can't shoot a jumper to save his life. If he got one, he's just like Ben Simmons. But the other thing about Scotty Barnes is he's more electric in the sense that he can get around, he can dime you out, he plays defense. This kid's ready. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I certainly agree. I agree with you there. I just think Scotty Barnes was 5th on the board and Jalen Suggs was 4th on the board.
Man,
I get it.
I think Pascal Siakam is on the first thing smoking up out of Toronto, man. I'm telling you, I think that's why they made that pick. Now, I don't think they're satisfied with him. I think that once the free agency thing flips over come tomorrow night, at whatever time it kicks in, you're gonna look at it. You're gonna look at some trade, a possible big time trade for Pascal Siakam up out of Toronto. I think they're going.
But I don't think you get off Pascal though. I don't think you get off Pascal at all. Pascal is an integral piece to you rebuilding that squad. You need a forward who's going to get buckets. And right on clock, man. We definitely have Max from the Max and Warren show. He's coming in with us here that we're going to discuss the draft. Y'all say what's up, man. The Max, what's popping?
What's up, man?
What's up, my dude? My Max, what's happening, man?
Not much. How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
We got
look
you.
Look at that background. Look at that background, man. You know he's loving the Lakers, man.
Oh,
look at that, man.
Love is not the word. And, you gave me the don't curse thing, but, man, it's going to be hard.
We got you, Max. We got you, man.
We got you, Max. We got you. You be you, man. Look, so we're going to get into the Laker trade again. We talked about it a little bit. We hit on it, but we're definitely going to hit on it while we have you here, man. Now we're talking about the Magic pick. Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs, I thought, was a good pick. I mean, Tate, you brought up a valid point. Should the Raptors have went with Jalen Suggs over taking Scotty Barnes? I don't think so. Like I said, Scotty Barnes has a huge upside, and Jalen Suggs does too in my mind, but he's not Scotty Barnes. I really think that Scotty Barnes is one of those that I really feel that's going to be a dog moving forward in the NBA. But this Jalen Suggs, we know Max has an opinion, so I'm going to start with you on this, Max. How do you feel about the Jalen Suggs pick?
Well, can I start by asking you guys a question?
Sure.
Go ahead.
How good is Cole Anthony right now?
How good is Cole Anthony?
Yeah.
He's not better than Jalen Suggs right now.
No.
All you got with Jalen Suggs is a more athletic version of Cole Anthony. I never saw it with the kid, and I don't think he's going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's going to be solid his whole career. But I don't understand, man. I just don't get what you're going for. It's just I don't see the ceiling. He's not that good a shooter. I don't know what he does great. And with a lot of the guys I saw greatness, I only saw good from him.
I think Cole Anthony played for North Carolina his 1 year freshman year, and they didn't even make the NCAA tournament. Jalen Suggs led the Gonzaga team undefeated all the way to the final game of the year. And I think what we have with Jalen Suggs is not necessarily from a basketball standpoint. It's more from a leadership standpoint, character and toughness and grit, and that's what he brings to any team. You know what I mean? Those intangibles.
Hey, but
you can't. I agree 110, and you cannot devalue somebody who's a leader, who's a warrior. And I said it on the pre-draft. Dude was Mr. Football in the state. Dude was Mr. Basketball. So he's not just a football player. He's not just a basketball player. He just finally devoted himself to basketball. So you're going to see this guy evolve and develop, and I think he's going to be good. I mean, the athletes that you saw previous who were that type of athlete, Allen Iverson, definitely Randy Moss, Charlie Ward, the people you saw that was those type of athletes. Them type of athletes, once they dedicated themselves to a sport, became really, really good.
Hey,
what were you about to say, Big G?
Man, I got a little different spin on the whole Orlando draft, man. I think that Orlando just has stockpiled players that they can showcase that become tradable players. I don't think Orlando, out of all the teams out of the top 5, I think Orlando's got the least direction as far as which way they're going to go. Now, do they have a gang of players? Man, they've assembled a gang of tradable assets to where they can rebuild and actually make a team. But I don't think that they have. I mean, just look at how many guards they got. I mean, come on, man. I mean, they still have Markelle Fultz, who last year had probably his best season he ever had in the NBA. You got to remember, Markelle Fultz was a number 1 overall NBA draft pick.
And they didn't draft him. They got him for pennies on the dollar, so they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot invested in him.
Right, but they just got a lot of movable pieces. I don't think Orlando. I think Orlando's trying to wait it out and trying to land a franchise guy and a guy that they can build a whole bunch of build a team around. And so that's why I'm not mad at them for picking a guy like that Suggs kid, because that's a tradable asset. If he comes in and he gets 12 to 14 points a game as a rookie, you could package him with another guy, send him away, and bring in a guy that you could build a franchise around.
Bro, listen, like I said, man, we're not going to talk about every player, but I'm just going to say Orlando, in their draft room, it was a whole bunch of haze in there. I don't know, anyway, let's just move forward. It wasn't as much as his next pick, because his next pick came from nowhere, and I just don't understand how. For real, Josh Giddey for the Thunder, what were they doing? Like, did they just want to tank that?
I called it. I called him at 7, and he went at 6. I called him at 7. But Josh Giddey is a dog, man.
It's no, man. Listen, no. It's like you got in a car and you caused a car accident just because you wanted another car. It just makes no sense to me, man. That pick makes no sense to me. How did you feel about this pick, Max, man? Talk to us.
I'm with you 100%. It's confusing. I watched so much tape of this guy. I didn't see anything special. It was, he can pass. That's pretty good, but he can't get by people. He can't shoot. He's not going to get more athletic. And the question is, and obviously it's hard to evaluate 18-year-old kids and their bodies, but how much more athletic is he going to get? I've seen people talk about, well, when he gets more athletic, in what world do guys usually get more athletic? By 18, you kind of got it, or you're not. Like, there's some rare cases. Like Jabari Parker somehow got more athletic after he tear an ACL. So explain that one to me. I don't know it. But I don't see what you love about him, Big G. You need to explain it to me. I can't curse, so I'm kind of upset, but tell me.
Well, first of all, he's a Euro player, and that's a beyond. When you got a Euro kid that's averaging and upwards of 15 to 17 points, and he's playing against grown men at 17 and 18 years old, that's telling you he's already performance ready. However, I will say that the NBA in totality is shifting and giving more value to European and foreign players than they ever have before. And a lot of that's based on our current level of MVPs is coming at us that are not American-born players. But this kid, like I said, in his league, he dominated. It wasn't like he was a slouch or a scrub. He averaged like 20 a game, seven assists.
We not saying that, G. Certain people just got to pass the eye test. And all we see out of him is he can pass a little bit. We can get out there and throw. I can throw some dimes. You know what I'm saying? If that's all it's about, I can throw a dime.
Hear me on this. OKC is another one of those teams like Orlando. They don't have a clear direction. They're stockpiling talent. They don't have. They just traded and got baby boy from Boston. But I don't think he's going to be there. I think eventually they're going to cut or trade Kimball. So they don't have a clear direction at all. They're just stockpiling talent, best available based on what other people like about him. Would they package him and 3 guys together? Absolutely.
Last before we move on, because like I said, we're not gonna hit everybody. But
first, you guys get a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Last thing. How do you feel about these moves that people are making just to be making a move? Like, first thing, just a geography note for Big G.
Australia is not Euro. Australia is another continent all of its own self, and that's where Giddey played. But I think a lot of these teams, especially OKC and teams like Houston with a lot of draft capital and assets, they're just like you said it, man. They're just taking shots in the dark, man. They throwing spaghetti up against the wall to see what's gonna stick.
What sticks,
Yeah. I mean, I understand the premise and concept of that, but I could have picked somebody I thought had more upside than Josh Giddey at 6 than picking Josh Giddey. I could have took Jalen Johnson. I could have took Moses Moody. I could have took Boat Knight. I could have took any of those guys that would have been a better pick than Giddey. But they're banking on or hoping to see his 6'8" ball handling, passing, that kind of grows and see what they got.
Man,
but basically just spaghetti on the wall. That's what it is.
Spaghetti on the wall. Tay, you said it. You said it right, man. Know it all, listeners. What you think about that one? And I mean, there's another one. We're just gonna go. I'm gonna jump to that one, and I'll come back and get in the order, man. The Spurs did the same thing. I was wondering if somebody in there was in there shooting up or taking a line to the head or something. I don't know. Was Jerry in this room with him? I don't know.
Man, Popovich over in Japan, man, and the kids just took over the house.
Man, it's like y'all. They were like, Primo, he must be good. What is it? I don't even know him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this just doesn't make sense, man. Listen, but the Warriors, they picked Jonathan Kuminga, great pick. I have no argument with that. Franz Wagner, we all know how we feel about Franz. Once again, this was an Orlando pick. It was just
Orlando again, and his brother is there. He's going to play with his brother.
Yeah.
Hey man, but listen, this was a confusing. Now, great player, confusing pick to me. This next pick, the Kings at 9, Davion Mitchell, great player, confusing pick. Y'all got 90 guards over there right now. Like, what do y'all play? 7-guard lineup? I don't get it. Like, somebody has got to. They've got to be trying to trade Buddy Hyde and get him out of there. Because it doesn't make sense that you would pick another 6'2" guard who you can only play at point guard. Maybe shooting, but really only you can play him at point guard. Max, what do you think about this, man?
I love the player. I hate the landing spot. It's the Kings. They're known to mess up the draft, and they did it again. Like you said, how many guards can they play? They got De'Aaron Fox, he's 6'3", Davion Mitchell, 6'1". Last I checked, 2 guards under 6'4" is not a good defensive backcourt. I don't care how fast they can move their feet. They're just going to get bullied inside. That's no shade at them. You're just 6'1". You're not supposed to be able to guard 6'9" people. Tyrese Halliburton, he's really good.
Yeah.
Like you said, Buddy Hield's as good as gone. He's as good as gone. But just what are you left with? You left with you drafted a 6th man at number 9.
Yeah.
Get your 6th man for 5 years.
Yeah, is that what we're doing?
Like, why don't you just take a swing at Kai Jones or something? Like, take a big man, take the Alprunch Sangoon guy. I don't even like him, but at least go for something you need. I understand BPA, like take the best guy, but you kind of have to have a spot for the guy you draft. I don't think Kings have that.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean the fit is questionable, but I mean you could argue that Davion Mitchell was the best player on the board, and maybe this picks is just tell us, what they have something in store that they're going to do here in free agency. They can maybe move somebody. They're trying to move Marvin Bagley, trying to move Buddy Hield. They got to sign Holmes back, Rashawn Holmes back. So they got a lot of moving parts going on right now. We don't really know what they're going to do. So I think they just went with the best player available. I like Davion Mitchell. I think he can guard 1s and 2s. I mean, I think either you or Big G was just saying in the collegiate season that he was giving Cade Cunningham a problem.
Giving it fits.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, and Cade is 6'8", so he can guard up as long as there's somebody in the backcourt. Like Max said, it's not fair to expect those guys to have to guard anybody on the block or down the baseline on the low post.
Yeah, he gave Jalen Suggs issues, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and really, like, neutralized him for a while, so definitely defensively, I love the kid. I think really highly of him. I think he's gonna be really, really good in the league. But and I said that in our pre-draft. But man, like the Kings, man, what was going through y'all head? See, the Pelicans, to me, they got it right. Even though they traded this to the Grizzlies, now the Grizzlies is about to get scary For real, for real, for real. They're about to get scary. Even though they traded Zaire to the Grizzlies, that's how you pick. If you gotta pick, you swing. You know what I'm saying? Like Max was saying, if you gonna take a swing, take a swing. Swing like Bugs Bunny to where you just keep swinging, your body just wrap up. Swing hard.
Well, there's a difference between swinging and spaghetti on the wall.
It's a difference.
Okay.
It's a difference. It's a difference. At least when you swing, you got it. You got your eye on something. You're saying, "Oh, I might catch it or I might not." Throwing spaghetti at the wall, you ain't even. It's not even a mic. You're just saying it's the best I could do. You know what I'm saying? It's the best I could do.
I feel like some guys, like say they're spaghetti, right? They're either going to be like the world's best spaghetti, or they're going to be like crappy spaghetti. And there's just a lot of the guys teams draft are just like, oh, they'll be okay. It's like, we can eat this, but we're not going to like it. That's the problem.
Good analogy.
What do you think about this, G?
Man, I feel Max's take, man. You know, the issue is, like you said, it's traditionally Sacramento. I mean, let's go back and look at their history. Sacramento traditionally, man, has destroyed themselves throughout the draft, man. I mean, I can't tell you the last time they had an actual impactful big time pick outside of maybe Fox, but they mix and match. You know, they pick a guy and then you're not trying to build around the guy and you wonder, is he a tradable asset? Did they have something worked out behind closed doors? I mean, what is actually going on with the Kings, man? You know, I don't know. Yeah.
You just said it. They're the Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah. They that other team in California. They don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been relevant since Mike Bibby and Chris Webber and all them. Yeah. White Chocolate. They ain't been relevant since then, man. Vlade Divac. They ain't been. You know what I'm saying? Just ain't been relevant. Hey, look, but the Hornets, I believe, helped themselves. Because they ended up with James Bouknight and they ended up with Kai Jones. I'm going to tell you something. I told you Kai Jones was going in our pre-draft. I said Kai Jones to the Hornets, right? Kai Jones to the Hornets. He ended up there via a trade. But, bro, those two players alone, to me, gave them draft equity, buddy. You know what I'm saying? To me, that put him up there. Because you got one who's been playing basketball since he was 16 years old, and he's just 21. That's 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Jones, 6'11". He can shoot the ball. He plays defense, runs it. He's a 6'11" guy who plays like he's 6'6", 6'5". That type of athleticism doesn't come around often. Then not only that, he can actually shoot the ball and he can play defense. He has great defensive instincts. So you help yourself. And James Bouknight is a dog. I think he's a good player. You got better in the draft. You got two players that help you instead of and Max and G, I need and Tate, I need all y'all to help me on this. Why is it that the NBA draft is all about potential? They're not drafting people on actual talent. Can you have and I feel like the Hornets actually did that. Talent and need, they put that two together and said, hey, we got them. Can y'all answer? Can anybody answer that question for me?
Max, go ahead, Kel.
No, Max can go ahead if you guys.
No, I'll take the backseat on this one. You guys go ahead.
I think it's because in football, kids, student athletes can't come to the NFL till 3 years after they graduated, their high school graduating class. With basketball, it's different. If initially you could go straight out of high school to the NBA. Now you got to wait 1 year. So you still basically, teams are taking shots at, oh, this kid looks good. He was good in sophomore year in high school, or he was good as a senior in high school. So they're just trying to draft on that potential, because that's kind of what you got to do, because, I think in NFL draft picks are much more valuable than they are in college. So than they are in the NBA. So you got those NBA franchises and teams just taking shots at people who they think are going to be good because of the way the rules are.
But okay, I'm gonna be quiet. So Max, what do you think about this, man? What do you think?
I want to build off what Tate said when he said NFL picks are way more valuable. He's 100% right. You think about the NBA. Well, the Cavs took like Anthony Bennett, who had one of the worst rookie seasons ever. And somehow they were able to flip him and Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. Like, people were still buying into the potential. No one was going to trade for, let's just say, I'm not even just throw shade, Dwayne Haskins after his rookie year. He was a first-round pick. He was really bad. No one's going to trade for him. And NFL GMs have to get the pick right. NBA GMs, I feel like they can miss a top 5 pick and no one really cares. No one's going to freak out. You got one chance in the NFL draft. Like, I always talk about this with Juan. The Raiders love to hit singles. They're like, we'll just get a guy who's okay. And I feel like the NFL's kind of like shifting towards it, because I think there's a lot more underclassmen in the NFL now than there ever was before, especially when you guys were starting off watching football and I wasn't even born. No shade about the age. I'm just letting you know. It's just the NBA. It's just they always want to see, like, the eye of the beholder, what this guy could be. And I just don't think it's worth it sometimes. Sometimes you just got to take a guy who's really good. So I think that's what it is. It's just, like you said, the picks are more valuable in football. They don't really care in basketball. They trade them like they're nothing. They trade them like it's nothing.
Like Pez.
Mon, I gotta tell you, man. I gotta tell you. Outside of the Golden State Warriors, what team in the top 10 has done anything in the last 10 years? So you gotta. It's not just. It's the organization as a whole, right? They're notorious spaghetti throwers. I mean, like, these folks live at the spaghetti warehouse and all whatever else. They throwing stuff up on the wall, man, trying to guess and get. Because, like I said, outside of Golden State, who's done really anything in 10 years?
OKC was in the finals in 2012. I'm just saying.
With KD, with
10 years. It's 2021. That was 9 years ago.
Yeah, they're trying to relive that, because you got to remember too, OKC, you talking about having guys fall to them. I mean, yeah, they got KD, but Westbrook sort of fell to them, and then James Harden fell to them. And Kendrick Perkins sort of fell to them.
Well, so first of all, OKC was Seattle when that happened, right?
Yeah.
No. OKC played Miami Heat in the finals in 2012, LeBron's first ring, and they were OKC.
When Kevin Durant came into the league.
Kevin Durant got drafted,
it was still Seattle. So, I mean, they were an expansion team. They got some extra picks and some values. And I think they kind of were lucky. You know what I'm saying? But now we're talking about the Warriors. Now we're going again. We're at the Pacers, Chris Duarte. The Warriors got another pick that I think is going to help them, Moses Moody. I think Moses Moody's a help. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a help for this squad. So now you got with when we're talking about the Warriors, we got Kuminga, and then we got Moody. I think that was 2 good pickups. There we go. We got 2 good pickups.
Wiseman last year.
You still got Wiseman. And you got Clay coming back. Like I said, the Golden State in this point is at a good place. They just really have to have these guys pin out. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Max.
I just wanted to say something about the last conversation about the draft picks. Do you think they just swing for the fences so much in the NBA because maybe after pick 5, there's so rarely a superstar to be drafted? And NFL, there's superstars all over the place. You get a superstar in the 4th round, 5th round. NBA is just kind of slim pickings. Do you think that's why maybe they just swing for the fences with every pick?
Maybe so. But I mean, the chances of you getting to me, here's the deal. These kids are so young, right? You're not getting it versus when MJ and them were coming out, you got kids that were, 3 years away from high school. And, definitely they man on that maturity was there. So you kind of pretty much know what you were getting into with a person. But now these kids are so young, like, it's going to take them 2-3 years. You're not having these kids that are just coming out dominant straight up,
And that's related to somebody is telling and advising these kids wrong, man. Yeah. Whether it be agents or parents wanting to get the money quick and stuff like that. A lot of these kids, and it's good the NBA has a rule now where you can enter your name into the draft as long as you don't get the agent up until a certain time. But me and Big G, we Ohio State fans, football and basketball, both. I'm assuming basketball too, Big G.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Washington Jr. led the Buckeyes in scoring last year. He entered the draft thinking like, okay, he's gonna come back. What is he doing?
Yeah.
He didn't even get drafted. He
Nope.
signed a two-way deal with the Indiana Pacers. So
Yep.
now he's in the G League. When he could have stayed for his senior year, had another great year, hopefully go far in the tournament, and kind of raise his value. But somebody obviously told him, "Oh, you ready? But you're not ready."
No, you're not. And
Hey, but I got something about Max and just to the whole know-it-all crew, man. There's a reason why the NFL's initials is the NFL. Not for long. And that's what happens with them GMs, especially at the upper management, higher level within those franchises. You mess around and screw up a first or second round draft pick, you're toast that next offseason. They might fire the coach, the GM. Everybody's getting canned but the owner. And the owner, they're going to be protesting against the owner. But in the NBA, look at some of those GMs that have been sitting there forever and have just had horrible drafts 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row. And I think that's the big difference, man. It's the GMs where the NFL, if you're a coach and you're a GM and you screw up a draft, you're out of there, man. You are out.
Tate, to your point, B Dirt said he just wanted out of Columbus. He said the youngster just wanted out of Columbus. That's why
hater. He's a hater.
He got in the draft.
Okay, I mean, but he now he went an hour and a half to the west from Columbus to Indianapolis.
Sure did.
He ain't went nowhere. He might could have made more money with the NIL staying in school this year, being around Columbus, being a star Buckeye, than he couldn't being a nobody in Indianapolis on their G League team.
Yeah,
this is true. And so so as we keep going, man, we got Moses Moody, then Corey Kispert, who I have my thoughts about. I think just a glorified shooter.
That's a good pick for the Wizards, though. The Wizards trying to rebuild after they traded Russ and got a nice haul back for Russ, and they had a nice decent draft. They got Hashimura there. They picked up Kispert. I like what the Wizards is doing.
Yeah, I agree, Tate, for sure. They're number 3 on my depth of best draft for sure. Washington had a great draft.
Tate, he said you're 100% hater on that statement. Both of you, y'all 100% haters. That's what he's saying.
It's okay. It's all right. We know. Well, let's find out where B Dirt is from. What state you from, B Dirt?
It's probably from Virginia.
Claim your state and your team. Since you want to be talking about who don't like what. Claim your squad, dog. Claim your state and your team.
Stick your chest out, B Dirt.
Stick it out there. Let's see what time it is.
So listen, the Rockets are another person. I mean, Alprin, man, I can't even say his name. I don't. Another one. I don't feel like you helped yourself. The Grizzlies, of course, traded Trey Murphy to the Pelicans. I thought that was an asset.
That's a good pick.
The Thunder, Trey Man. Okay, all right, that's a good one. B Dirt said to tell you guys this. He said, "No, go blue."
Oh,
that makes sense.
That tells it all. That tells it all.
Stop. Horrible.
Have fun not beating Ohio State again. I don't even like college football, but I know that.
You got punishment coming this fall, buddy. Straight up punishment. You already know what time it is.
Oh man! But then the Hornets, of course, got that. They got Kai Jones. Then Jalen Johnson, Hawks. Great pick. You know what I'm saying? I think that is a definitely great pick. What do you think about this, Max? You like it or no?
I'm sorry. It's just, doesn't it just John Collins insurance? I feel like he's a bigger version of John Collins in a sense. I love it.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I would retain John Collins, but if something funky happens, I feel pretty confident letting Jalen Johnson in there. I think he's better than where he was picked. I know he opted out, had a weird year at Duke, but sometimes you got guys who go to the wrong school, get the wrong fit. Oh, and absolutely. I think a lot of players, they just go, it's Coach K. How am I going to say no to Coach K or Coach Calipari? Or if back in the day, if Urban Meyer came calling. There's always coaches who have such a big aura, you say yes. Nick Saban.
Yeah.
So I love the pick. Great pick. The Hawks get richer.
What do you think about this, Tate? And then we'll move on. What do you think about that pick?
I think Max is spot on. I think it's John Collins insurance. If John Collins gets an offer sheet that's more than the Hawks want to pay, then they're gonna let him go.
Let him go. Yeah, I agree. So the next pick, right? The Knicks drafted Keon Johnson. They traded him to the Clippers. All right, bye-bye. You going to the Clippers? Who cares? Isaiah Jackson traded to the.
Hey man,
James,
what's
so you know,
name? Keon Johnson set the vertical record at the combine, didn't he?
48 inches. 48 inches.
That's
pogo stick.
But I'm saying the Clippers. Who cares about the Clippers? I mean, the Clippers are in a bad
you're
way.
right about that.
We'll talk about that in a minute because they're the team now.
Paul George for MVP next year.
Listen, they're the team right now who is in dire trouble. They are in dire trouble. They got no assets to get off of. They need everybody they got. And they don't have a lot of money to go out and put some more folk with them. They in trouble. They in trouble for real. And the Warriors got better. The Lakers got better. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in trouble. So anyway, let's move on.
Max is looking crazy about the Clippers, man.
No, that was when he said the Lakers got better, and I was like, I don't know, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Lakers got 4 players as of right now. 4.
Yeah.
We can't even field a team.
I mean, they're going to be a little better. So you got the pick, and I'm just going to get to this because I wanted to get to this one. Usman to the Rockets again. The Rockets got nobody. I mean,
the Rockets on most publications got an A+ for their draft, man.
Did.
You know, I mean, I think your lack of knowledge about those players.
What is their system? Do we even know what type of system they got? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real, like you're putting a whole bunch of people in here.
I told y'all the other day, man, until they can get off the contracts of John Wall and Eric Gordon, we don't know which direction they're really going. But they got some young players.
Yeah,
you know, you got Tate from Ohio State. That was all rookie last year. You know, he had went overseas and played for a couple of years because he graduated from Ohio State about 2 or 3 years ago. But he's all rookie team last year. You got Christian Wood. You got all these. You got Kevin Porter Jr. coming in with.
Oh, you got the youngster from Austin too. What's my youngster's name? He was hitting all them threes. Oh man, I gotta think.
What's his name? He ain't getting a whole bunch of clock, whatever his name is.
No, he did. He got
a
lot for Houston. I'm trying to remember his name. God,
Kevin Porter is their alpha male, man. Kevin Porter now with Jalen Green and with those 2 picks, that they're set for the future. But like Tate, I'm gonna keep emphasizing it. But I look for them to get something decent to help them, where they can package maybe Wall and Eric Gordon together. But those are 2 big contracts that a lot of teams, unless a team is all in. I don't know, man. A team that feels like they're a piece away.
Max,
a team that maybe feels like they're a piece away.
Amani Brooks is his name. Amani Brooks.
Yeah. He ain't bad. I like that guy. Jones taking John Wall. Also, I really can't wait to see John Wall mentor these young guys. That's exactly who I want to mentor these young guys. Maybe you can teach them about going to the club. Not really sure.
Yeah, you're right.
John Wall is horrible.
Hey, I'm out here. I'm out here in the DMV, man. That's the best thing happened to the Wizards, man. Was John Wall. Was Houston taking John Wall for Westbrook, and then the Wizards had, they gave more up for them to take Wall, but the Wizards essentially got it back by this trade. They just traded Russ for. You know what I mean?
I mean, who would want John Wall? Nobody. You're going to have to give up an asset. You're probably going to have to trade like Kevin Porter Jr. to get rid of John Wall. Right. Even that said, you're going to have to take on so much salary.
Oh my God.
You're screwed.
He said, "I'm gonna have to."
I like John Wall, but you just don't got it no more. You have too many injuries. It's not like he really kept in the best of shape.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That's the biggest deal.
No,
that's the biggest deal. He didn't keep himself in shape, and that's the biggest deal, man. But I think one of the biggest names that had me like, oh my gosh, and this is gonna make G feel a little better because he loved his Knicks at one point in time. Quentin Grimes going to the Knicks, I felt like was a help for the Knicks, man. They needed a guard. Huh?
They traded him.
No, they didn't trade him.
The Knicks got rid
He
of
was
all their
traded to
picks.
the Knicks.
Let me explain something. Let me just have 1 minute, man. The Knicks had the worst draft out of all teams in the draft in the 2021 NBA draft. They listen. I was like Spike Lee sitting up in the thing, and Spike just kept looking and seeing like who's staying, who's going, what they doing, what they trying to figure out. Man, it was horrible when they traded that first number 19 pick. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go with the shenanigans again with the Knicks, man. So I still ain't feeling them. I always gonna have a little bit of love for them because of Big Pat and the rest of the fellas, man. But man, get them out of here, man.
Hey, man, where did Grimes go to school at?
Houston.
I knew it had to be okay because you said
I
I liked the pick, so I knew it had to
big
be somebody.
Big guard though. Quinn Grimes is a dog.
I know he's a dog. I think he went to Kansas first.
Max, who did anybody have a worse draft than the Knicks?
I think the Thunder. The Thunder, the Spurs and Thunder probably.
Spurs.
I think it just sucks if you're a Knicks fan because there was a lot of talent when you traded.
Yes.
And especially, I like Nerlens Noel, but I'd rather have Kai Jones, and I'd rather have a guard who can score.
Right.
Like, you don't need more defense; you need more like scoring. And I know Grimes has a little bit of both, but I don't love Grimes. I think he's going to be good, but the Knicks could have maybe had a chance to get something a little better.
But the thing with the Knicks is that they got the bag this year. They got more money than anybody. They going big fish hunting in free agency. They want Spencer Dinwiddie or Chris Paul or they want to bring somebody to the team that can impact winning immediately and not something that they're going to try and develop.
I just don't think the fish is out there for them unless they somehow get Kawhi Leonard to agree on like a multi-year deal because he just turned down his player option. But Chris Paul's not going to help you for more than a year or two. You're not going to win a championship with Chris Paul when his hamstring goes out in the first round of the playoffs or whatever ailment he's going to catch. And same thing with like, you really want Spencer Dinwiddie for $20 million a year?
Heck no.
I like Spencer, but sometimes having the money and just using it's like that's what gets them into trouble every year. It's like, hey, let's give Tim Hardaway Jr. $80 million to hang out. Yeah. It's like just don't spend it right now. I'll never understand teams that do that. It's like, oh, we got to get somebody. It's like when the Cavs gave Kevin Love $120 million and the school's batting a ball to the Rafters. I'm like, you just quit and we're paying you this much money. I would have cut him.
Yeah, for real.
I hope they buy him out and cut him this year. I'm a Cavs fan, Max.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Get this. So second round, I got 3. And if y'all have something that stood out about you guys, definitely you could chime in about my 3, or you could just say, hey, this is what I thought in the second round was a good pickup. First one that hit me over the head that I thought was a really, really good pickup was Jared Butler. Jared Butler to the Grizz. I think it's going to help him. Jared Butler's a solid guard. I think it's really, really going to help.
Jared Butler went to Utah, where he ain't going to get no clock.
I mean, to Utah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Utah.
He a good 11th or 12th man, but again,
he's a solid guard.
Where do you play college basketball at? Where do you play college basketball at?
He on the bias. He on the bias, man.
Okay. I can call that every time. He's always connected to Texas.
Jared Butler is a good guard. You will see he's solid, and he's going to get ticked. He's going to get ticked.
He can be Jordan Clarkson in a couple years. He'd be Jordan Clarkson in a few years. Like maybe just Jordan Clarkson insurance.
Jordan Clarkson just got a contract last year, and he's 6th man of the year. He's like 26, 27 years old. I don't think he's going nowhere.
Let me tell you. Go ahead, Big G.
I just think they scared about the Conley situation, man. I think that's what that's pressing them more than anything. I don't think they worried about.
And that's
Conley,
who I see. That's who I see coming out of this whole equation is Michael Conley. I don't see him there. You know what I'm saying? Why.
They got rid of Favors to try and get some money to keep Conley. I think Conley gonna stay, but we don't know. It's insurance. Insurance.
We'll see. And then my next one that spoke to me and put out is son, you're gonna be happy again. I thought it was a better one. I thought it was better. Is Jericho Sims to the Knicks? You know what I'm saying? Jericho Sims is gonna be a decent big man, not in scoring, but in defense and rebound.
That's just what the Knicks need.
He played for North Carolina, right?
Nope, he played for Texas.
Oh
Jericho
my
Sims.
God.
Oh, I thought he was a big man from North Carolina.
7-footer.
Max, tell him what time it is with this guy, Max. Come on, man.
Why do you need more defense, Nix? Like you already got it. What do you need it for?
With who?
Get some, and the whole team plays defense.
With who? I didn't see it against
Nerlens
Atlanta.
Noel. Okay,
Yeah.
like their problem isn't that they can't play. They can play defense. They can't score.
Right.
They can't score a bucket. It's like
That's
it doesn't
their
matter how
problem.
many
He's
stops
right.
you get. When you can't score, you're gonna lose.
Yeah. They still trying to win games 93-89. You know,
I love it personally.
Yeah,
I love seeing that, but
yeah.
it's kind of painful to watch at times.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's
All
horrible.
right, so you guys second round. What, Max? I'll start with you. Who was in the second round that raised your eye? Picks that raised your eye?
You stole mine with Jared Butler. That was my guy. I really liked him coming out of Baylor. I thought him and Mitchell had really good chemistry. They can both shoot that thing, which is important, and I think they both can play defense, even though they're smaller guards. And I love the tenacity they play with. So I was going with Jared Butler.
Yep. Big G.
I'm sorry if I'm biased too, because I picked the Texas guy.
but you're not in Texas. I don't hear you pick.
I went to
Texas.
school in Texas, so that counts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
Yeah,
that counts.
Hook 'em horns or whatever.
G, who you got in the second round that kind of piqued your interest?
Man, I told you, big winners with Detroit Pistons, man, in that second round. Even though they got up off of JT Thor and he ended up in Charlotte, I still like the Livers kid from Michigan, and I definitely like that kid from Iowa, man. That kid from Iowa went way late.
I thought he went too low. And Max and Tate, both of you guys need to chime in on this. Why do you think Luka Garza went so late, man?
I think it's his perceived lack of athleticism. I mean, he's not a twitchy, mobile kind of athletic big, but what he does do is get the job done. He gets you buckets on the block. He can hit the mid-range jumper. He can stretch you out. But I think he's a perceived liability on defense. I think that's why he kind of dropped. Myself, that's my take on that one.
What about you, Max?
100%. It's just I think teams are going to worry about him not being able to be on the floor when it counts. So if you're going to draft a big and they can't be on the floor in the fourth quarter, it's pretty much over for them. It's like Enes Kanter. He's good and all, but he just can't. They can't play him. He's going to get picked to death. That's
a good comp, Enes Kanter, because he gets buckets, he rebounds, he can score, but yeah, defensively, he's a liability.
Yeah, B Dirt said Garza can't guard the pick and roll.
That's exactly why.
Got a good assessment. All right, so G, it's on you, Tate. Who's your steal of the second round of the draft?
I like the kid from Auburn, Sharif Cooper, drafted by the Atlanta Hawks. I think he's gonna come in there and give them a dynamic backup point guard. I think he scored average like 20 and 7 for Auburn this past year. So he's not much of a shooter yet, but we know if you got everything else, you can work on your shooting. So I think he'll be a good addition to the Atlanta team. And they also in that trade they picked up DeLone Wright from Sacramento, and he'll add something. So I mean, I thought Atlanta was a fluke getting to where they got to last year. But, I mean, I think they're a really good team. They're well coached, and Trae Young is a superstar in the making. So we'll see.
Oh, he's a superstar. He's a superstar. Hey,
can I ask a question about the Hawks to all y'all?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at their roster, and I'm just going to name off some of the assets, they got Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Bogdanovich, so many guys, right? Why can't they make a play for a superstar?
Well, you still got your boy in the middle too.
Clint Capella. Exactly.
Capella.
So why don't they go after maybe like if Bradley Beal becomes available? You're telling me you wouldn't do Hunter Bogdanovich for Beal? And they have picks.
The Wizards wouldn't take. That's not enough for the Wizards to take those.
No, I'm just saying, but they could have enough to make the deal work. They got enough assets to get any superstar. It's just I'm saying, would you consider that with the Hawks, or you're willing to roll this back? Because I don't think they're an Eastern Conference championship team. Like I know they got to the finals, but I think that has more to do with Philly imploding than it does the Hawks. They're an upstart team, no doubt, but I feel maybe you want to get like frisky, and if like Cat becomes available, you give them like Capella, DeAndre Hunter, a couple first-round picks for Cat.
And you got to throw in Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, yeah, I'll throw him in, no problem. There you go. He'll be out of town so fast.
Man, I wish Big Cat would come out of purgatory so bad, man. I think the NBA is just wasting talent with that kid sitting up there in Minnesota, man. They got to get him to a team, man. That
Careful, all the Timberwolves fans are gonna get mad at you. Oh wait,
I don't.
They don't exist.
They with them in the Sacramento Kings. They with them in the Sacramento Kings. It's like, who in the world, you know?
Hey man, but I think part of that got to be put on Cat too, man. I mean, when you a dog, Big G, he's a great player. But when you a dog, you kind of will your team and take your team to where they need to be. Now that's not a championship. That's just the playoff, man. That's just a plane. That's just an 8 seed, a 10 seed. He's not getting in there. Him and D'Angelo Russell, I think it has something to do with the culture there. But Cat is part of that culture, though. He's been there for about 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah,
but the
something
culture
like that.
didn't start that way. I mean, but you look at how they did with Garnett. You know, I mean, there were certain players that had to get out of Minnesota to actually get some shine in Minnesota as an organization. I don't know. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Ma. When KG was there, they weren't never the greatest team, but KG was taking them there because KG was a dog. Yeah. And they like, you know what, KG, you've been a dog for us for so long. We're gonna trade you to somewhere where you got a chance.
Yeah,
and
they went there with Jimmy Butler,
and he got it done. Cat didn't show none of that.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler got them going right. I think Cat is part of the problem. I think he's a lot of times people see 24 and 13, but it's not really impactful. It's like they're getting blown out by 20 every night. It's like, no problem. Get the numbers. It's over in the third quarter.
He want to shoot threes. I bet 40% of his shots.
He can't post up.
Man.
Yeah.
He's like a 7-footer who can't post up. It's the most frustrating thing in the world to watch.
He coming down rain dance.
Yeah,
he's right. He's right.
He's 7 foot. He's 7 foot 250. He's 7 foot 250, and probably top 10 talented big man in the league. You know, and just he doesn't play. He could average 30 and 15 if he wanted to. He could get it all day and night. And he's got a youngster in Anthony Edwards. And now let me tell you, if they got a chance to do something, that youngster Anthony Edwards is something different. And he's got some alpha. I want to win. I'm not trying to lose. You know, y'all need to come on. He's got some of that in him, man. So we'll see how long him and Cat get along.
Special, man. Now listen. We got a show coming up, man, and definitely this is why we have my guy Max on the air with us today. We have a show where we're going to do a combined football show. We're definitely going to be talking about our NFL preview. We're going to get into it. I just want to make sure that I introduce y'all properly. Max, tell them about the Max and the Warren Cast.
The Max and Juan Cast is just a podcast where we talk about sports. We talk a little bit about life. We make some jokes. Juan gets to cry about the Raiders. He's my other half. It's just two guys who are obsessed with basketball and football, and I'm more obsessed with baseball and tennis. Juan's only those two. Right now, I'm trying to get him into it. We just try to have like genuine conversations, and we gonna curse. I'm sorry, I didn't curse the first 7 episodes. Then Juan made me curse because he was uncomfortable without me cursing. True story. But that's what it is. It's just a real talk, and we're lucky to know people like you guys and have connections with people who like help us get where we're going, and we help you guys, and it's just that's what it is, like kind of like a family thing. Me and Juan know each other a long time.
Yeah, so definitely, man, very insightful show. We're gonna get together, and I'm telling you, y'all are gonna get a very, very detailed, thorough NFL preview, and we're going to talk about the sport like you probably never heard it. Why, Tate? Why are we going to talk about it like they never heard it before?
Because we're going to tell them what they don't know, because we know it all.
We know it all. We know it all. That's definitely what we're going to do. My European guys say, hey, man, is there any news of trade or signings? Not yet. I mean, definitely at this point, everything's rumored, but Big G said it. Big G and Tate said it earlier. The free agent, it starts when on
tomorrow at 6 p.m. Everything's wide open.
They said Lonzo is already kind of working his way to the Bulls.
Yeah,
that's his goal to get to the Bulls.
They said it's a wrap. They said Lonzo it's a wrap with him. Chicago.
Where you think? Where you think Kyle Lowry gonna end up?
I think Miami. Maybe Miami. I don't think he sticks around in Toronto. They're not competing.
No, he's not.
He's going for Toronto, but Dallas is in play too.
I think between
Dallas and Miami.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at Dallas.
I'll tell you two teams you got to pay attention to in this free agent frenzy. You got to pay attention to them: the New Orleans Pelicans and the Charlotte Hornets. Watch Charlotte and watch New Orleans because Charlotte is maybe a piece away. Charlotte is from contending and giving people fits in that East. That young backcourt they got with them other guys is rough. And New Orleans just needs a guy to run. They need a point. I mean, if Chris Paul went back to New Orleans, I wouldn't be mad. They need a guy. New Orleans and Charlotte is both in the top 5 as far as money.
The Knicks in the New Orleans 1-2, I think.
Yeah, the Pelicans and Charlotte is going to make runs.
Charlotte is nice, but I think they're just a nice regular season team at best. I mean, come a playoff series with matchups, those LaMelo Ball, little light in the pants tail, and those little guards, Graham and whoever the kid, he's from Youngstown. What's his name?
They just drafted Book Knight.
And they got Rozier.
Rozier, Terry Rozier.
And Bridges.
Posted up, getting bullied by whoever. I mean, so I think they can run and score points and be a good. They just let what's the kid name from Kentucky play for him? Guard Moses? Is it not Moses?
Oh, Malik Monk.
Malik Monk, yeah. They just let him walk, so he's a free agent.
Yeah, but
Malik need to go somewhere else where he can actually get some tick and some run. I really believe he just didn't fit with that team. Good kid though. Good kid, real fast with the ball.
He must be from Texas.
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
He's not. Definitely. But you guys, man, honestly, to sum everything up for the draft, man, we're hoping tomorrow that we can see some great trades and we're putting, the NBA season to rest. We're gonna go ahead and put it to rest. I mean, we can't watch the Olympic team right now because you're scared of what you're gonna get, man. I mean, it is what it is. But football is coming. It is on its way. And
Thursday night.
Can I say something about that real quick about the football? Max made a comment earlier in the show talking about my guy Dwayne Haskins. Man,
what did I say? What did I say that was incorrect?
Look, I just think Dwayne Haskins, you don't throw 50 touchdowns in the Big Ten and not be good. Now, I think he was drafted by a bad organization, his hometown organization. So he came to a bad organization, he came home, and he's immature. That's a bad mix. But right now in Pittsburgh in camp, he's doing his thing, and I'm betting right now he's going to pass Mason Rudolph for the backup position and be waiting. Go ahead, Big G. I'm sorry.
I'm with Tate with him moving number 2, but I'm gonna say something else about Dwayne Haskins. Ron Rivera is a quarterback killer, dog, and him going to Ron Rivera.
Come on!
Oh, he's a quarterback killer. Ron
he ain't
Rivera,
that bad.
Oh, yes, he is.
But Big G, he was drafted when Gruden was there though, and Gruden didn't want him. Dan Snyder wanted him, so he was already put in a position where Dan Snyder wanted him. The coach didn't want him.
The two biggest quarterback killing coaches that I've ever seen in my life is Ron Rivera and Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher's a team
coaches.
killer.
Yeah,
Jeff Fisher's a team killer. 8-8 is great for Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, Ron Rivera made it to the Bowls just because he had my man Cam, man. He had Cam, man. Outside of Cam, no bowl for him.
Oh
ever.
My God.
Yeah, and right now he's got killing them defense too. I mean, look what he walked into with that monster Chase Young in them. But they ain't going nowhere. They ain't going. They're gonna
win.
He went to a Super Bowl. I guess so did Jeff Fisher. So I mean I don't think Ron Rivera is that bad. I think they got trouble brewing though with the whole COVID thing and like half the teams turning against him. You never want to see that from a coach, and like the disconnect is scary.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Haskins sucks. I'm sticking by that. Mason Rudolph's best thing he ever did was get hit in the head with a helmet.
Yeah, he's
Come on, that's the best thing that ever happened to Mason Rudolph's career. Was him getting bludgeoned to death on Thursday Night Football.
Hey man, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something. You're right, B-Dirt. Pops was from Texas. Cam Newton went to school in Texas. He went to Blinn. I mean, greatest things in life happen in Texas and only Texas.
Cam Newton went to school in Texas?
He went to Blinn, yeah. He went to
junior college.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
shouldn't even count.
Yeah,
That shouldn't even count.
I
He
just
was
used
like a
my
5-star
contact clue to
recruit.
figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but here's the deal. We are getting ready for football, and definitely we got that coming up. Steelers versus Cowboys. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. Just to see my guys back out here again. The game's really not gonna mean anything. It's like glorified pitch up tackle. But at the same time, we're gonna get a chance to see football back on the field. I'm excited, man. I before we leave, I just want to, and we ain't even gonna go into our predictions. What are you looking for? What are you looking forward to the most, Tate, about this football season?
I'm looking forward to seeing Dwayne Haskins play.
No, you're not.
I said it already.
Oh my
I'm looking forward to
god.
seeing Haskins play, man. He hadn't played for a legitimate offense or organization since he's been in the pros. So now he's been with the Steelers since last January. Now he's been working closely with offensive coordinator Matt Canada, and he's looking good. Of all things I hear, and I keep up with a lot of the Steelers local media and podcasts and stuff like that. And hey, as a matter of fact, I was on this morning on the BTSC behind the steel curtains with the Steeler guys talking some Steeler talk.
Shout out to Beyond the Steel Curtain.
Sure.
Thank you guys for the love. Definitely they're probably out there watching right now. Appreciate you guys for the love. So you're excited about Haskins, huh?
I'm excited. I'm extremely excited about Haskins.
What's in that bottle you drank from? No, right now.
I promise it's just water in it.
We need to do an analysis on the bottle. We need to see what's in there.
Well, no, I'm here what everybody's looking forward to. What you looking forward to, Big G?
Well, I'm not going to be Steeler biased, man. I mean, I love the Steelers. That I'm heart and souls with that team, man. But I'm gonna tell you the big intriguing thing. I want to see what's going to happen before the games actually count. I want to see if Deshaun Watson gets traded, man.
Oh, I thought mine meant this one particular game, the Hall of Fame game. I had other ideas on anything else.
Yeah, I want to see
that. Your answer makes more sense.
Oh,
Well, let's get off the Hall of Fame game. What are you looking forward to the most in this upcoming football season?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, man. I'm looking to see if Deshaun Watson gets traded, and if his legal woes give him an opportunity to play football. I think that I got my own personal opinion about what I feel about Deshaun Watson. But I know talent-wise, on the field-wise, I mean, it's a shame what the kid's going through down there in Houston, man.
Listen, first of all, let's go ahead. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to go ahead and put it out here, KnoItAllz. That's what we do because we know it all. Listen, you mean to tell me Houston paid him how much money?
A whole bunch of money. And then some.
A Brinks truck and a half. Like 160.
A Brinks truck and a half.
They backed up the Brinks truck, dumped it out, and they didn't vet him and know all of this stuff was going on before they paid him. No, you can't make me believe that at all. And then here's another thing you can't make me believe. You can't make me. There's only so many high-end massage parlors in Houston, Texas, in H-Town. Shout out to H-Town. There's only so many different high-end massage parlors in H-Town. So you mean to tell me that when the girls were coming through, when he was coming through, the girls wasn't saying, "Hey, don't fool with him. Please don't fool with him." You mean tell me 22 of them did the same thing? 22?
Hey, I
can't believe that.
I think there was a lot of noise with him wanting to be traded to get out of Houston. And that's when all this stuff started. Now, I'm not saying he was, he's 24, 25-year-old young man. I'm not saying he made the best decisions by having private masseuses come to his hotel room or whatever they was doing, but it was never a problem until he voiced wanting to get out of Houston.
I want to leave Houston. After he gave him that money, after he took their money, it was kind of like, oh, you going to take my money? Well, we got something on you. So my whole thing, whether he did it or not, I'm not even dealing with it. If he did it, he needs help, definitely. And it's not right. You hear me say that. But it just don't look right. And I'm telling you, if I say it's a dog, please start looking for the claws and the teeth. Now, Max, what do you think about that whole situation as well?
I've tried to stay away from it, and I've thought about it a lot, and I think it's just weird timing for everything. Yeah. And it's very contradicting about what you hear about Deshaun Watson. It's all I've ever heard about the guy is he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
That's from college coach. That's from pro coaches. That's from reporters. That's from people who know the guy.
Yeah.
That's from everybody. And we live in an era where we like to assume everyone's guilty. And a lot of the time there are people who are guilty. It's just like when you turn on the news and you see like somebody got shot or something happened, you assume, oh, that guy was in the wrong. And I always say, let's just wait. Let's get all the information out. But this whole thing reeks. It reeks of something like sketch. It's about when you want it out. You're telling me it didn't happen during the season at any point in the 6 months, or the fact that 22 of the women have the same defense lawyer is a little sketchy to me.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on,
It's just all a little sketchy. And, I don't want to say they're lying or he's lying, but I'll say that just smells weird to me. And I would say, let's wait. Let's not cast the guilty on them. And this is the type of thing where it doesn't even matter sometimes if they're innocent. People are innocent. It's like who was the kid from Ohio? Gary on Conley, when the chick said during the draft he came out and he sexually assaulted her. It didn't even matter. She lied. It was like, oh, he did it. He did it. And it just
and stock went from here to there.
And the stench stays on you, even though you've been vindicated, which I hate that. And I hate that about it all.
Will tear you down.
Yeah, definitely. Max, is that a signed Shaquille O'Neal jersey behind you?
Yeah, it is. At my elementary school, they did silent auctions. My mom got it for me when I was like 10, and she got this Gary Payton one for $20. No one wanted it, and I was like, "Do it, get it." It's like whatever, take it. They're both signed. I was like, "That's a steal, $20."
Yeah. So, Max, what are you most looking forward to on this NFL season?
Well, I was going to answer for you, and my shoulder. I feel like Dak Prescott. I'm sorry. No, I'm just looking forward to the Eagles tanking the whole season like they did on Sunday night. No, I'm looking forward to Tampa Bay. I want to see if they can repeat. And I don't like Tom Brady, and I don't think he's the GOAT. Another time for another like topic for another time. I'm just interested to see what they look like because Super Bowl hangover is real. Max. Oh, I know, and I know it's a team sport, but only the quarterback matters. But that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing Ahmad Bell be proven wrong about his prediction of 4,000 passing yards and 1,500 for Zeke.
Hey man,
that ain't happening.
I say this is what I'm gonna say: 3,000 and 1,300. So between 3,004 and between
his shoulder hurt already.
He's backing up fast, man. Come on.
I'm not going to leave
15 for Zeke. No,
I'm not
you stand right
13.
there.
Listen, I'm not going to leave between 13 and 15 for Zeke. I'm not leaving it.
This dude's been sending me pictures of Zeke working out. I'm like, he's still fat. He's still not good.
What? Oh my God. Listen, let's move forward. G, what are you most looking forward to in this? Oh, you answered, didn't you?
Yeah, but out of Deshaun. But listen, there's one more other thing that I really want to see. I want to see how the 17-game schedule is actually going to affect these teams. I want to see it because I think that and then how they scheduled and they made like late games count. Like you have Seattle traveling across country to play the Steelers at week 17, which you can't tell me that both of those teams might not be actually fighting for a playoff position or to get in the playoffs. And that's just one of the matchups. So I want to see how, I know coaches are going to be savvy with it. I can see them when they know they're going to play a busted team in the middle of the schedule, just set the guys out for not let them play and give a guy a rest and whatever else. But I think that 17-game schedule is going to make big problems.
Can I real quickly give mine now that I know we wanted to talk about the whole
go
thing?
ahead.
No, that was a really good one. I think you should keep it.
No, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what Urban Meyer does down in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my God.
In that team down there. If he can turn him around, I mean, I think they could be better than the Houston Texans in that division. So from worst to third.
I mean, if they win 3 games, they're probably going to be better than the Texans.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. I'm interested. I'm interested in a couple of things. I'm interested to see how Patrick Mahomes rebound. He looks really good. You know what I'm saying? Definitely in its training camp. But I definitely want to see what the Packers do. Hearing what in the press conference, how, my guy was talking, Aaron was talking real reckless and basically was saying, look, I want more authority when it comes to picking my teammates, and I get it. So I want to see how that's going to play itself out. And I think the 17 games and seeing how this schedule plays out, Big G, I agree with you, man. But listen, if you love the content that you're seeing, make sure that you like and subscribe. You smash that subscribe button and hit that like for us. Definitely, if you love our content here, man. And I appreciate you guys rocking with us out here on a Sunday, man. B Dirt had one more comment. He said, "This is the Ohio versus Texas podcast." Oh my gosh, no, it's really not. It's really not.
I don't
Texas,
know. I think so.
Texas will win that hands down. So that's not a competition.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Definitely not a competition.
Has Texas had a good football player in like 15 years since Colt McCoy, or what?
I'm just asking. About?
Who was the last good guy to come out of Texas?
Are we really asking that question?
I need to know.
I mean, so wait. If we're talking about offensively,
you can say anybody. I'm willing to hear anybody.
Offensively, it's been the last offensive player that we've had was and I mean, shoot, I'll give it Malcolm Brown. I mean, he was after Colt, and Malcolm Brown was probably the most decent one we had.
Listen, Joey Bosa, Nicky Bosa, Chase Young, Denzel Ward.
Are they from Ohio? Are they from Ohio?
They got from the college. I'm talking about the colleges.
Right here, bro. They went to this right here.
No, but we can't. Let's not talk. If we were talking about the colleges, it's Texas all day long. Because if we put a list of Texas football players, you're out of here. You're out of here.
Win. Of course, Texas would because of the.
Why do they choose Ohio State? Why do they choose Ohio State?
Right. So listen, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get out of here for my guy Jalen Green with the sequin suit, looking like Maurice and the whole know-it-all team. We definitely gonna get out of here. Thanks for joining us, man. Y'all have a good one.